Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my next special episode of my comic book channel here. And I do mean special because tonight I have my special guest Jose here. My special guest Mike is supposed to come as well, but he hasn't shown up yet. So, but Jose's here, and what we're going to be doing tonight is we've got a real treat for you. Jose's been a very busy guy lately, and he's been he's been buying a lot of books. Now, me and Jose, we go back a long time. Jose started collecting around the same time as us, well, in the early 80s, right?
No, going back, man, mid-70s, when I first came to Canada.
So you started collecting before I did?
Yeah, no, I've always been into books.
Yeah, so when you first started collecting, what were your favorite titles?
I remember like X-Men and Iron Fist, Avengers. Like I said, I like some of the big guys, but I liked other books too, like Warlock. Like I said, a second character, kind of like second tier, but still, very cool. Created by Jim Starlin. Created Thanos and all those guys. The cosmic kind of stories.
Yeah. Some of the lesser known characters. Which,
those are great. The '70s were kind of like the last gasp, but like I said, we'll get into that in a little bit more.
Yeah. So obviously you've been very busy lately because you just started collecting again.
Yes. I mean, tragic story. Like I said, I had a killer collection, but under circumstances, it got sold for pennies on the dollars, and I'm basically left with almost just nothing. But I've just started getting into it again.
Yeah. And I know I've been with you. If you keep this up, you're gonna have a better collection than me. So most of these books are gonna be Jose's. I'm gonna show you a couple of mine as well, but. I think sometimes me and Jose go out and buy the exact same book. But basically we're going to show what you purchased the last couple weeks, right?
Yep. These are all current buys.
Okay, cool. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it. Okay, so here we go. Now, you've seen my book before. My book is on the left. I think I showed this a year ago. This is one of my very early episodes, Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1. That's the book I bought at about a year and a half ago.
Pendragon.
Yeah, and this is the one that Jose bought last week at Pendragon. So go ahead. What do you think, Jose? You paid a lot more for yours than you paid for mine. That's for sure.
That's right. You're not seeing double. So, let's talk a little bit about this book, okay? This is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. at #1. This is from 1968, and it's a classic Steranko cover. Now, I'm a covers guy, so like I said, I mean, I bought a couple of dozen books in the last little while, and like I said, out of covers, I mean, if I had to choose one, the one that's most memorable, and I do have some very good covers, maybe not many classics, but some very good ones, but this one, of its type, it's a classic. It epitomizes the 60s to a T. It's a great psychedelic Jim Steranko cover, and like I said, if I had to choose one cover among my collection of back issues for keys, this would be the one.
Yeah, that's for sure. I love that psychedelic look to it. Now, obviously you can see the price difference in
yes,
in
we're going to talk about that right now. Now, Paul paid for his about a year and a half ago, $70, and all these figures are in Canadian dollars. Okay, I bought mine 2 weeks ago with Paul for $110. That's $40 more.
110.
Yes, 110 exactly.
Yeah.
$40 more, so significantly more, even in a year and a half. Now, there is some reasons why, and we're going to talk about this right now. Now, we're going to talk about the decisions that go into buying a book. Now, the two main things to consider when you're purchasing a book are condition and collector demand. As we just spoke in the introduction to this book, we've established that this is a key book. It's a classic. It's a #1. It features Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. By no means is it an early issue or anything like that. Nick Fury, his debut issue is Nick Fury and his Howling Commando. So we're going back to the 50s. But for what it is, it's a really key issue. So like I said, the collector demand is there. But like when investors look at it, obviously, the higher the grade, the bigger the price difference. So like I said, when we're looking at a book, we're looking at main areas of the book. We're looking to see how fresh the color is. When you're looking at the whites, you're seeing how white they are. You're looking at the spine, and you're looking at the corners. All these areas make a big difference when it comes to grading generally. So in this book, like I said, you see some spine stress cracks, you see some spine roll. The corners themselves, they're sharpish, although the bottom one has a crease about a few millimeters off from the center. The top one is better. You can see now when you, like I said, look at the top, there's some waviness, and like that could be helped if you wanted to get the book pressed, which is not considered restoration by CGC. So like I said, for a minimal amount, currently we could get it done for about $15 here in Canada. like I said, it would improve the overall look of the book for not an unreasonable amount of money.
Now, do you think it would, how much of a grade? Like, it would go up a full grade? Any idea? How
Well,
much?
like I said, a half grade is possible, and sometimes, like I said, if there's less imperfections of the other kind, in the sense that it just has a, because paper is newsprint, and it tends to, like I said, even if it's preserved, it tends to get a little wavy.
Yeah.
Pressing does help with that, of course. Now, the other main element in the book is the paper itself.
Yeah.
When you get something CGC, they put preservation paper within the thing, so it stops the oxidation, the oxidation process, and like remember, it's in a sealed environment too. So that's why, even though, like I said, it's a significant outlay of money in the sense that it costs you 60, 70, sometimes more depending on the book, to get something it's graded, it does give you certainty as far as what the grade for the book is, and
It's
that's
worth it,
important
yeah.
if you want to sell it. The most money you can get back from a book sometimes is if you get it graded.
Okay.
Now, looking at this book, taking into consideration all the things that I've said, I think you paid fairly reasonable enough for what the grade is. Now, what would you consider the grade you bought this book is?
Honestly, I thought it was around about a 7.0.
Yeah,
Maybe a little
yeah,
less.
it could be. See, yes, or a 7.5 maybe if you're being generous. Like I said, if that helped improve the overall general look of the book,
Yeah.
yeah, you could see a 7 easily.
Okay, now let's take a look at your book, because I can see get a bit of a spine roll here, which you don't have on
No.
yours as well. But okay, we're going to take a look at your book just to see the slight differences in the quality.
Okay, so now here we come to my copy, purchased in the last 2 weeks, also from the same vendor, Pendragon Comics, here in Toronto. This book I paid $110, and so that's $40 more than Paul's copy.
Yeah.
Now, when you're looking at it, the differences, things to point out. You look at the spine registry, okay? You see that line, it should be straight and perpendicular. Very, very good spine registry. Now, you're looking also at the stress cracks on the spine itself. You're going to get that sometimes. There's very minimal of that.
Yeah.
And like I said, those are caused by the staples, the natural age. This is almost, well, this book is as old as us, almost 50 years old, coming
Yeah.
up on that. So like I said, I mean, that helps. Now, looking at the corners, good corner in the bottom, but the main defect on my book is a large crack about
Yeah.
right
it's
there going through the code thing.
Yeah.
Now that's a major imperfection, and there's a slightly minor one about right there.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's two major cracks on the thing. Now you'll also see that it has some general waviness near the top.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a good copy, good color. I would say my copy maybe at that price an 8 or a 7.5,
Yeah,
a VF
yeah.
or a VF minus. Now, I'll always have regrets about this book, as Paul would know. 3-4 years ago, I saw a CGC copy at Fan Expo for
A 9.0 CGC copy.
these VF near mint selling for $100 Canadian.
You can't go. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
From an investment standpoint, that same book today would be about $2.25, $2.50 US.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically more than double your money, and there's factors involved with that. Okay, so here we are, side by side again. This is a final analysis. So, having paid what we paid, we both did okay. We bought a book that is in demand because of the current Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV, and because of the portrayal by Samuel L. Jackson, who himself is a big comic book collector in the Avengers movie. So
Yeah.
it is somewhat a hot book. Now, obviously, in 9.8 condition CGC, this would be almost a $2,000 US book, $1,800, $2,000. So that is why it's important when we're talking about our thought process involved, when we're thinking about dedicating a certain amount of money into a book, that you should buy right. We both
Yeah.
did okay as far as what the grades are. And one of the things you have to realize is when you're buying a raw book, you have to trust your dealer. Okay,
Yeah.
we both buy from similar dealers. Both of these books were bought from Pendragon Books, very good. Darcy Farrell, proprietor.
2
He's-
years apart. We bought 'em-
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But like I said, I will always have my regrets about this book, of course, but I don't mind what I paid for it, like I said. And it just goes to show how, like I said, something when, like I said, media attention is driven to a certain character or a certain organization like S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah.
it obviously is going to impact on the book. Now,
Yeah.
a 9.0, like I said, I pointed, if somebody is looking to buy that raw book, we're thinking like a high grade, but not a stupid high grade in 9.8, like they're not going to pay out $1,000. You know, like I said, it's reasonable. That's what most people consider investment books. You want at least an 8 or above for a book like this.
Great. That is fantastic, Jose. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go to the next book here. So let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, Marvel Premiere number 3. Okay, we both bought these books last weekend.
Yeah, both together. Yeah. You know, this is one of the great things, like I said, us versus online shopping, which I'm not against, but like I said, it's good to hunt books in the wild and the thing. A good comic book shop will sometimes have multiple issues of a back issue that's a key or a minor key. Mm-hmm. In this case, perfect example. Pendragon had 6-7 copies for sale, so it gave us a wide spectrum to buy.
Yeah, yeah. So my copy's on the left, Jose's is on the right.
We both bought very similar grades. It was a situation of we had very similar mid grades and a couple of lower grades and one higher grade.
Yeah.
Now the higher grade, the thing that ruled it out was it had a bad registry. What that means is the cut from the producer was very bad. Yeah. And unfortunately, because there is writing at the bottom, in this case, This World Gone Mad,
yeah,
it really affected the aesthetic appeal of the book.
It's too bad, yeah.
It's too bad because it was otherwise a clean, good quality book.
It was almost pristine, almost.
Yes,
almost.
And for reasonably priced, I think it was $115. Now, we both paid similar prices. I paid $10 more than yours.
Okay, now, one thing you want to explain to us, what is the significance of Marvel Premiere number? Why did we buy it?
Okay, so like I said, here we're mining early 70s Bronze Age keys. Yeah. In this case, Doctor Strange, Marvel Premiere. Now, Marvel Premiere was one of those series that Marvel did in the 70s to basically introduce characters, sometimes new characters, of course. In this case, this series, the major appearance is Iron Fist, Marvel Premiere number 15, which is the key to have. Yeah. But in this case, it's not a new character, but it's rather the reintroduction of an older character again to a newer audience. Mm-hmm. In this case, Doctor Strange. Now, the first appearance of Doctor Strange is, of course, from the 60s, and it's not Strange Tales 110, and it's now with the movie news. Like I said, here we go into determining factors of what goes into the value of a book. The Marvel has already announced, like I said, for the next 5 years, what their movies is related to be released. Yeah. In this case, Doctor Strange is coming out in 1 calendar year, next November, tentatively titled Silver Dagger. Cool. So it's created, obviously, a stir and a buzz for all Doctor Strange titles. Yeah. Now, in this case, Doctor Strange, like I said, it had a run from 110 and into the 160s, and then it stopped, and it stayed Strange Tales, but Strange Tales Doctor Strange, and then it stopped. Yeah. And that's what's considered the first series. Yeah. Now, after that, for a couple of years, he appeared here and there in cameos. First Defenders, Marvel feature, he's one of the main leaders there with the Submariner and the Hulk.
In the first Defenders?
Yes, but Marvel featured Defenders, which is the first appearance before Defenders number 1. Yeah, yeah. So, but in this case, like I said, it reintroduced the character, and he did a run, and it lasted for a few issues, and then he got his second series, which came out in '74, which has got a classic John Brunner cover. Okay. But like I said, this predates that. Yeah. And like I said, I mean, it's a good investment book. We bought mid grades. Like I said, both of us don't have the money to buy near mint grades most of the time, especially even from somewhat minor keys here, because this book obviously an excellent investor, 9.8 CGC, top whack, in other words, the best of its kind. You're looking at, surprisingly, $1,600.
Holy shit.
Hey, sorry, boys and girls, for swearing like that. But that's what I mean. Like I said, what's good about looking for books in the raw at a reasonable price is you're challenging your eye with a seasoned professional. Again, in this case, Darcy Farrell, who grades very tightly and well. Yeah. We did not hit a home run, but we did very well on a book that's probably, I'm predicting, might double or triple in the next year or two. Cool. Especially, like I said, it's 1 year and counting. All the Strange titles are going up. The 74, which I mentioned, the number 1, which has got a classic cover, Don Brunner. Now that book, we had a chance to buy it for $70 at another store. It's probably selling now for $150. Cool, cool. So it's already doubled.
Yeah. Bottom line is, if you find this book, buy it.
What's in front of you, and it's a reasonable price, and you judge that it's priced fairly,
pick it up. Pick it up. Yeah. Okay, so here, what do we got? Wow. Marvel Premiere number 1. Wow, what a fantastic book. This was, this came out, this is obviously the first issue, and it came out April 1972. And by the way, my special guest Mike is just showing up. How you doing there, Mike?
Good. Special guest Mike. How you doing, guys?
Cool. Hey, did you picked up anything recently?
You know what? I've taken the month of October off. I mean, I only had 1 day off this month. In the month of October. I know we're in November now, so I might just wait for the December con, you know?
That's right. December Con's coming up. I think it's December 5th, I believe.
Yeah,
If you look back at some of the old episodes,
picking up-
we went to the December Con last year. We got some good deals.
yeah, it's good. I mean, I got, I get newer stuff for reading on a weekly basis. I got some of the hip hop variants that,
Yeah.
But it's all new stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Well, again, save your pennies because in less than a month you're going to be going crazy at the December Comic Con.
yeah.
And I think I've mentioned this before. It is boasted as the biggest one-day convention in Canada. And, it is. I mean, there's thousands of people show up. It's a great show. It's a one-day event. Last year was on a Sunday. This year it's going to be on the Saturday. It runs from 11 till 5. So you go in, you go out, 6 hours, quick, dirty, you pick up what you need, and you're gone. So it is kind of a cool little con.
and it's great deals. We've done very well, all
Yeah.
of us. I think all three of us have done very well every time.
Oh, for sure.